Cyrus Gaming Spot here. I'm here with Swordfish 39 to talk about the Silent Hill 2 remake that's supposedly coming this October. So how's your evening, Sword?
Going good. Always glad to be back on.
Well, yeah, I thought it'd be interesting to talk about what we know about the Silent Hill 2 remake about now.
Yeah, we got like a little bit of a taste of like what the beginning of the game is going to look like, and kind of giving our thoughts on that.
I guess like firstly, it's being developed by Team Bloober.
Yeah, Bloober.
And I've never played any of their games, so I don't know how they're. But I think you have, right? Since you played the medium.
I played the medium. Yeah, that's the only one I've played thus far, and I know that the medium and honestly their other games are super controversial. I will say, I actually really enjoyed the medium. I know people kind of like question some of its morals and messages, but I don't know. I thought they were handled pretty tastefully for the most part. Hot take, I guess, but I didn't think the game really was saying anything morally objectionable for the most, honestly. So
I just heard controversial stuff about this developer. So.
Yeah. Like I said, I can only speak for the medium. I cannot speak for Blair Witch or whatever the other ones there. But I like that game, and I am excited to see what kind of spin they're going to put on Silent Hill 2. And I honestly think this footage that we've seen is actually pretty promising.
I haven't been like a long time Silent Hill 2 fan. I've only beaten the game like last year. Well, we've actually done a video on it on this channel. Like I reached October last year. Yeah,
it was like a Halloween kind of special that we did,
and it was really fun to talk about it with Sword and Shintai or Daniel Santos. From what I've seen of the Silent Hill 2 remake, I will say that when they first released footage of it, it's looked very questionable,
to put it lightly.
Like James overly look weird, and all the angles like it didn't really gave off the same vibes that the original Silent Hill 2 did.
Like, I feel like some of the footage, especially when they kind of zoom up on James's face when he's looking in the mirror at the beginning of the game, looked really way more on the nose. Like in the original Silent Hill 2, it kind of like James, he almost looks like kind of not apathetic, but very just kind of like detached, I guess. And it kind of leaves you wondering as a player, okay, like what's going on here? But in the first reveal trailer of this remake, like James looks just like distraught and depressed, and it's kind of like it feels a little too.
It didn't follow. There wasn't any like subtlety to it.
Yeah, it just kind of told you that he's depressed about something, whereas kind of like you're just wondering what's going on in the original.
Especially at the start, like you don't know what to expect from James at the start.
Yeah, like as a first-time player, when you're going in blind, it's a complete mystery.
Yeah. The recent trailer made it look better, but it's like I still think it's a bit questionable, but at least I think it's on the path to improvement compared to before.
It's on the right track, and I will give Bloober props for at least listening to the feedback, because that one trailer, especially the gameplay trailer, oh boy, we'll get to that when we get to that, but that got disliked to hell. So it's clear to me that at the very least Bloober is willing to listen to feedback, apply that to
I will say, like the most recent trailer, I think the gameplay review did a lot more to make me feel more easy about Bloober handling this than the actual trailer they released.
Yeah, because I feel like this new gameplay trailer with the revamped combat that we've seen in this newest footage definitely feels more in line with what Silent Hill 2 should be, while also kind of having like the more modern sensibilities.
Yeah. I will say like it is still probably going to feel very different.
For sure.
Yeah, like this is just like the consequence of going from a fixed camera angle to third-person perspective. I think this will affect Silent Hill 2's atmosphere and ambience more so than Resident Evil did. Just because Silent Hill 2, at least from what I played, which is I played the PS2 version, but that's it. Was all about like the ambience, the atmosphere, the implied story, applied moments within the characters, and how the town is reflecting each character's deepest, darkest secrets onto its environment. They're able to craft the environment to suit what the game needed at each point because of the fixed camera angles, I think.
I was gonna say, like, kind of adding to that, like, based on this new gameplay, like, footage, I think, because I was initially skeptical about like the over-the-shoulder camera angle, but seeing like in this footage where James is like going through the hospital, I have to say that they honestly did do a good job of kind of recreating the atmosphere. Like, I don't, I think it's kind of different. I wouldn't say it's like better or worse necessarily. I think it's different, but I do think that they actually do have a grasp on the atmosphere that the original Silent Hill 2 went for.
I
think that
say there will be less claustrophobic moments in the remake, probably, compared to the original. But I'm willing to give it a try.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that
I like that they're trying new things. Like how you get the radio at the start is completely different from the original. Because like from the original, you just go into this like under this bridge part that's under construction, and then you just grab the radio. Why in the remake it looks like you'd be like actually entering entering homes under holes, which
he was like inside of a house, I think, or something, or
and then grabbed it, and then like that's where the first time where you meet your first enemy, and then you see James grabbing like a nail board from an actual window, which is cool, I think.
Yeah, so they a little different, but they kept the whole scene intact. I think that the atmosphere was still there.
I do like it make more sense to find a radio there compared to like in the middle of nowhere bridge.
Like like in the street and like so it feels a little more organic and a little more natural.
Well, James has to enter a hole, It's put
of course
and everything. Go into the hole every time,
Wouldn't be Silent Hill without that.
Yeah. But I do think I think some of the gameplay bits does look interesting. I think the fog looks really cool from what I've seen. I especially like how you can like grab items in new ways in this game. Like with how you see James approaching a car in the back and then smashing the window to get a bottle. I think that was really neat.
Yeah, as opposed to just clicking the X button and saying, "Hey, you got this," so it's a little nice touch.
Yeah, I'll probably make this way. Will probably be a better use of using the over-the-shoulder camera compared to the fixed camera angle where you just scan that area. Which is nice. They're trying to adjust the game towards its new camera angle.
And it looks like they're like gonna do it effectively. Like honestly, like based on what we've seen, it looks like they're gonna utilize it well. And like I agree with what you said about like how it's definitely not gonna be as claustrophobic. But I think that based on what we've seen so far, it looks like they're gonna utilize what they're doing to the best to its like full potential, I think.
I will probably miss the fixed camera angles if I do play through the remake, but like I would probably try my best not to judge it too harshly because of the change.
Yeah, like I think it's good to look at it for like what it is, and like I said, they clearly respect Silent Hill 2. Like that's it to me. It looks like based on some of the cutscenes we've seen and everything that we love about Silent Hill 2 seems to be there. And it really seems like they're putting like the love and care and effort into this because they know this is Silent Hill 2. They cannot fuck this up. I think they know they cannot afford to fuck this up. So they are, I really think that they're like, especially after that first trailer, because that first gameplay trailer was just god awful, my god.
Mhm.
And it looks like they applied the feedback of that to the combat now, and I do like that the combat looks like kind of intentionally clunky the way that it's supposed to be.
I will say
And
like we talk about subtlety in the original. I will say like just from what I've seen, it seems like that subtlety is still sort of gone in the remake. It just
yeah.
basically is like, oh, reap what you sow shit,
Mhm.
which is very on the nose, kind of, I think.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, I think.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, like, as long as it's not like so
Mhm.
constant throughout the game, I really think I could probably forgive something like that, as long as it's not a reoccurring issue.
Okay. You want to talk about the character design since that got some people talking.
Yeah, that was
Like, personally, James looked terrible at the start, but
yeah.
when it came out, but I think he looks pretty decent right now. At
I
least I
think so.
think
I
so.
definitely
Yeah.
think he looks improved from the initial trailer for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I will say.
I think like the major problem is like this game is it's not as subtle as the original, which can feel very kind of off. Like,
Yeah, like
especially when you compare like the mirror scene, like the original of what the remake had initially, and now.
that one's definitely one of the more egregious ones for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mirror one.
Mhm.
Like, and then Angela looks like she's about.
People has a lot of complaints about Angela. I like there are some complaints I understand, but there's also some complaints I don't understand.
Mhm.
Like the fact that people think Angela's not hot anymore, which I don't think is relevant for her character.
If anything, it's actually kind of the opposite. Like that, you're not supposed to look at her in a sexual
Like I
light like
even
that.
in
You
the
know?
original, I didn't think she was that good looking. I think like the intent was her to look like middle age, even though she wasn't in the
Yeah,
original.
because I think Angela is like what 18, and
Yes.
she looks like she's like 30.
Yeah, I think
But that's
she was modeled after her voice actor who was in her 40s, and they were trying to
yeah,
go
yeah,
for
yeah.
that. But like, it was supposed to like, well, you're not supposed to realize this until the end, but you know how what happened with her father affected her so much that it looked like it aged her considerably. I don't want to
Yeah,
say too
and
much. I don't want to say too much since if you haven't played it, then you might
mhm.
not. You know, I want to avoid that. But yeah, like I think the remake Angela looks much closer to what her actual age is in the remake.
Yeah, and I do feel like I can't help but feel like that's like literally going
Yeah,
against
yeah,
just the opposite.
I think that's the main problem I can get. That Angela looks like at her actual age.
Yeah, so like that's an area where I feel like they kind of like missed the
Yeah,
point.
yeah, but then like still willing to give them a shot to see where they take this angle to see if they're still able to, you know, just portray how damaged an individual Angela is in this remake. If they're
Yeah, like
able,
I'm willing to give them benefit of the doubt. It's just based on what we're seeing, kind of
yeah.
based on what we know about the story of Silent Hill 2. Yeah, it definitely comes off as kind of weird.
But yeah, like I don't understand people complaining that she's not hot anymore when I didn't think she was hot in the original to begin with. I don't know.
I just it's weird because like I said, that's like the exact opposite like mentality that the developers kind of intended for you to have with Angela. So I don't know. I find of all the complaints, not hot is definitely not one of the top 10 issues with the character design.
Now we go to Maria's design, which does look very similar to, you know, Ashley's design in Resident Evil 4.
Oh yeah, I mean I haven't played Resident Evil 4, but I do know what Ashley looks like. So.
Yes, I would say it does look very similar to Ashley's design, which is, you know, weird.
But to say the least, like that's another case where, to me, first of all, she looks just like with Angela. She looks way younger. than she should.
No.
And it's one of those things where I just can't quite put it into words. Like I feel like unless you're looking at a like side by side comparison of them two, to me Maria just looks off. Just looks off to me.
Like
you could also say that's a biased thing because I played Silent Hill 2 multiple times at this point. I'll say that, but I feel like that's another design where I feel like they kind of missed the mark.
Now there's another part where people say she's not as hot as before, and I would probably say that can be a problem given what she is in Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, that's the point. Maria is supposed to be like sexualized by design for her purpose in the story. So
so I can't understand that sentiment though. We still haven't seen her personality. Like I know you see her throughout the hospital, but in the hospital she is immediately different when she's going after Laura. Just because that story.
Spoilers,
the story. Spoilers. But like, I don't think it's fair to judge her personality just based on the hospital, since she was kind of like that in the original as well.
Like her personality, like she has this like kind of like motherly concern for Laura, when her personality for James is totally different.
Yeah. So like we didn't see her like the meeting with James yet in the remake. We just saw her at the hospital as the game demo, which I don't think is really a fair judge if they butchered Maria's character yet or not, but yeah.
So I mean, time will tell. As long as they get the personality right, and like, we get to see like
I think how they handle the Maria's personality will go a long way in retaining her sex appeal, I think. Yeah. Rather than just judging it solely on their appearance. Though I will say it is weird how she has a more conservative outfit, I guess.
And I mean, like I said before, and that's like the point of Maria is for her to be sexualized because that's her character. So for them to tone it down,
it's more understandable. People being a bit mad about Maria's redesign compared to Angela's.
Yeah, Angela's makes no sense to me. Like that outcry makes no sense. Maria, I get because they missed the point of Maria.
Laura, I think, is probably the best fit so far.
Yeah, I like that they kind of like, she looks, I mean, not that she didn't look like her age in the original, but I like that they gave her more like human flaws with some of her like facial design. Like she has like kind of like crooked teeth and stuff like that. I'm like, that's accurate for someone who's like what, 8 or whatever. So I think that they honestly they made a couple of subtle changes for Laura's design, but I think that they actually were not bad choices.
But yeah, like I think that's all the characters they show so far. They didn't show Eddie. They didn't show
I think Eddie's the only one we didn't see. Actually.
Oh yeah, Eddie's the only one we didn't see.
Yeah.
I guess Mary, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, like I think we saw like a still picture of her, but that's about it.
That's
so
I see it.
I guess we can't really. Yeah, okay. So I think I'll throw Mary into that list of people we didn't see. So Eddie and Mary.
But like I said, I don't think it's the perfect remake so far from what we've seen.
But the heart is in the right place, and I do think that, like I said before, with them listening to the feedback, I think that it's still gonna be a good game just based on what we're seeing.
Yeah. I'm just wondering if they're going to make hard mode the same as the was in the PS2 version.
I mean, they might, maybe just to keep it in vein with the original. Who knows?
Or you have to use both dual sticks to control the boat.
That's why, like, I think, who was it? Was it Shintai in the last episode that said that playing on hard mode would like make me like hate the game? I feel like.
You can't just run away in the Maria chase scene. You have to shoot Pyramid Head.
Oh my god, terrible!
But I think they're still getting same person who did the soundtrack, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
I think Akira Yamaoka
Yeah.
is coming
So
back,
that's good, right?
which is great. Yeah,
Like,
because
I
the
do
Silent
think-
Hill.
And I do like how you still got the same type of sound effects you saw in the remake as the original, which is cool.
Like the ambient sounds and
Yeah.
the rustic
Yeah.
sound effects in the background are on point, I think.
Yeah.
Like walking through the hospital in that
Mhm.
footage definitely gave me the vibes like, yeah, this is the Silent Hill 2 hospital for sure. Like I
Mhm.
felt like I was like reliving that back in the day.
But yeah.
How about the voice acting? Like, what do you think of the?
I'd probably say they probably sound more normal.
Yeah, although I will say I do think that it still sounds like. I think they still sound good.
Yeah.
And
like they don't sound like nothing will ever sound like the original, I think, because like that voice acting was lightning in a bottle, and I think they weren't even actual voice actors for most of them.
I don't think so either, actually.
Yeah. But
and
yeah.
like the thing is, you'll never be able to like recreate that. And if anything, I think that if they went out of their way to direct the voice actors to sound like off like the original, I think it would just sound bad. Like just flat out bad. So I'm glad they like. I still think they sound normal, but they don't sound like Silent Hill HD collection levels of normal, where they sound like Hollywood actors almost.
Yeah.
You know.
But throughout the entirety of the original, like voice acting, it does feel off somehow. If it fits with Silent Hill 2. Like,
because I've seen it described as like kind of like dreamlike almost, which I think is pretty accurate.
Yeah. Like this voice acting, like it does feel normal into the bits where it isn't. So it does feel more scripted compared to Silent Hill 2, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that's the most egregious for the HD collection, and I kind of see it like that here too. But I do feel like this voice acting has like the perfect balance between sounding normal and like they sound normal, but like in a good way. Like they sound like just the average. Like James, for example, sounds like the average Joe, but in the best way. So I think that, like I said, if they went out of their way to try to recreate that voice acting in the original, it would just sound terrible. So I think that we got like the best like voice acting direction that we possibly asked for, really.
Yeah, probably. Like you would never be able to capture the original again.
No, and I'm glad they didn't try. Like, so I think that we got that happy medium, you know.
Okay, yeah. I'd probably say Laura probably sounds the best from what I've seen.
I think so too. She sounds like accurate for like that kind of character.
But is there anything else?
Nothing that I can really think of. I mean, we don't really have too much to work with, honestly. I mean, all I could really say is that, judging by how much like Silent Hill 2 is so beloved, and the fact that Bloober is really clearly making the best game that they can.
Oh wait.
All I can.
Oh wait. Not the price going for?
I don't think so, actually.
Okay. Let me pull it out. Okay. There's a name. Mind you, this is Canadian prices, but still. Silent Hill 2. It's going for $90 here.
Yikes!
$100 for the digital deluxe version, where you get to play 2 days ahead of full release.
I mean, you know what? I honestly have paid more for collector's editions and stuff, so I guess I can't really.
This is just digital version, though.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, that's wild. But like, I have paid that much for a game before.
I just like the main benefit is just you playing the games 2 days earlier, and you get like some costumes. Like,
I gotta say, I think the playing 2 days ahead is a pretty sweet deal, all things considered. I gotta say that alone would be worth the extra money for me.
You get like a pizza pyramid head mask. And the dog mask.
Nice.
Yeah, there's like standard edition. standard edition. If you pre-order, you get the dog mask. The deluxe edition, you get like the digital soundtrack, digital art book, and pizza head mask. And then you pre-order, you get like everything I said, except and as well as 48-hour early access. I don't think it's worth it, but
I think so too. Like I said, for me personally, even with all that other stuff is nice.
I think the thing that gets is just a full price game.
Yeah,
right now,
exactly.
which is, like the pricing, I think is a bit off.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I mean, hard to be fair, kind of hard to justify a $90-$100 price tag, but all the goodies you're getting plus the 2-day, like you get to play it 2 days sooner. Honestly, not a bad deal, really, personally.
Okay. It's probably $10 difference for you since you live in States. This is Canadian prices, so. But yeah. Overall, like, it's not the ideal remake. It would bring cool. We have Team Silent back, but that's never gonna happen.
Yeah. But like I said, I was saying before, like, all things considered, Silent Hill 2 is probably the most beloved survival horror game of all time, and it honestly probably always will be. And I think that Bloober understands that, and I really think that at the very least they're going to make the best remake of Silent Hill 2 that they could possibly do. Because the fact that they went out of their way to like really listen to some of the feedback and apply that into the later footage and into their, developing in their development, it seems pretty clear to me that they know this is a game that they cannot fuck this up. And so now I agree. Is it the ideal remake? Probably not, but I have faith. I'm going to be optimistic. I do like what I've seen, especially with this new footage, most of all. So I'm going to go into it with cautious optimism.
Me too.
Like the initial trailer, like the first story trailer that we saw, like way back when, like was like a year and a half ago, that seemed good despite some, iffy aspects here and there. The first gameplay trailer was like, all right, fuck this game. And then this new footage came out. I'm like, all right, you sold me. You got me back. You got me back. So I'm gonna check it out day one, and I'm looking forward to what Bloober, what Bloober's interpretation of the game is.
Yeah.
As long as they can try to keep the subtlety the best they can anyway. Like I said, I'm not expecting them to do it on the same level as Silent Hill 2, but as long as they can at least apply it to most of the game.
Yeah.
And, So overall, I'm looking forward to it.
Like, I probably won't get it day one. But I'll probably get it eventually. Try it out. I probably definitely won't get it day one. I probably just play Silent Hill 1 and 3 this October. But yeah, overall, it's not as bad as it could have been, I guess, from what we've seen.
Yeah.
Like at least it seems like they're taking fan feedback in mind and improving at least.
And that's something I do have a lot of respect for when developers do that. And I do like that Bloober team took that into account. Although I don't like that they tried to like fucking throw Konami under the bus with that first gameplay footage. They're like, oh no, we didn't do that. I'm like, oh, fuck off. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
At least have the balls to admit that you fucked up the first gameplay trailer.
Okay. I think that's all, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we don't have that much to go off of, really, but I do think it was enough to kind of like at least speculate and talk about what we've seen and stuff.
Alright, that's all for this impression video on the Silent Hill 2 remake with what we got. Hope you guys like it, and what are your thoughts on the Silent Hill 2 remake?